Can you hear me well? Yep, great. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm really glad that so many of you chose to stay and listen to our journey. Actually, I'm kind of really happy that I was able to be here because H&M was quite close company for quite a while. Even Swedish armed forces were more open about their communications than kind of us. So we were like back in the days, like looking for the application experts, and we were not allowed which applications that application experts should be expert of. So we have to kind of, our HR guys were really kind of, trying to find people, and for them it was very difficult because they have, so do you know this application or that one? Maybe that as well. So it was quite a challenge. But now we can tell more about sort of what we do. And one thing I want to tell you is how we sort of moved from more IT-driven data organization towards being more business-driven. Because I think a lot of companies start with sort of in IT organization with managing the data, trying to find the sponsors, data owners, CTOs, CDOs, or whoever it is. So it's quite a challenge, and that's what we want to kind of tell you about a bit. But before we start that, I want to tell you about what is H&M. You probably all know what it is. You probably shopped at our stores, maybe, or seen at least our logos in the different cities. Well, our vision is to be the most loved design group in the world. I think it's very important to understand what our sort of CEO wants for our company as a data organization. And for example, if you read the word love, I don't know how many of you love different companies. It's very difficult. I mean, I love a few, but it's can change quite quickly. And also that we are a design group, and that means that we have a lot of creative people. I watched some time back this TV show, Little Britain, and there was one episode when this lady sitting behind the computer, like typing something, and then the computer says no. So master data solution or data management solution cannot be that kind of designed in that way anymore, where you try to type something in the computer and then it says no, you cannot do that. You cannot kind of start a shop there, or cannot, like, I don't know, sell there, or whatever it could be. I mean, now the solution has to be more intelligent. They have to sort of provide you and tell you that based on the sort of this design sketch, this is a garment, this is a shoe, this is a kind of trousers, and probably this is the commodity code, how it should be imported. Based on information, sort of the system has to be intelligent, and based on the information, they have to help your business to kind of be creative. So that's how we see it a bit, this sort of our business vision translated of what we should do as data organization, how we should help our business. And we have a lot of brands. Here are the most kind of well-known and kind of well-established. I mean, it's for different styles. I mean, personally, I like Arcade, for example. But I don't know, my sort of for my son, I shop at H&M, and yeah, so it's and some stores I will go in, I like, do people really buy that? And then I go like south of Folkungagatan, where the kind of hipster people are, and like, oh really, they do buy that. So so it's different people, different styles, and there are some brands which are not here. I mean, for example, our cafe brand, like it's Pleat. It is the It's a Park, which is a very new brand. It's also being established. So a lot of kind of our business experimenting and trying to start new things. And also we obviously close brands which are not profitable or not effective. So if we look at the key figures, we have around 5,000 stores, 71 markets globally. And we usually try to have a store in a country if we have an online business there. We have 170,000 employees. I'm one of them. 800 million transactions per year, 232 billion SEK turnover, 5 billion yearly visitors, and so on. And the interesting fact is that we are profitable. I mean, considering how the retail sort of industry now is, and how competitive it is, and how many kind of companies going out of business. I'm really happy that we sort of still going and still kind of at the edge there. And to kind of handle our sort of data solutions or provide data services to our business, it's very difficult because we're constantly going through different changes. First of all, we become much more global than we used to be. I mean, being more in the Nordics or in Sweden, now we are globally. I mean, if you imagine GDPR regulation in Europe, but think about Russian regulation of the sort of how you should handle garments there, Chinese data protection regulation for the customer data, the Indian future regulations, US regulations, so many kind of aspects that are happening there, and how should we kind of handle our data there. We used to be a company that centrally in Stockholm, there's our offices, kind of a business, they design garments, and they found the kind of supplier who produced them. This supplier shipped these garments to wherever we have our stores, and we sold them. But not anymore. Now we're collaborating with very well established, like Italian designers like Moschino. We are buying sort of established products or fully developed ready products like Adidas shoes and many others. So it's not only our design assortment, we also extending kind of our assortment to kind of other products that customer wants. Our business models also have changed quite a bit. I mean, if you look back in the days when we're designing sort of our information models or our solutions, people said, yeah, we will sell garments, period. So we do not need to be flexible, or we can do that. And then suddenly you see in our stores, we're selling food items like bullar, or what do you call it, this pastry. And it's quite exciting change. And other business models are coming in, like, you start this service of painting nails in the shop. You start the service of take care, where you kind of try to repair your garments. And it's so many kind of creative inventiveness requires to have very flexible, very dynamic kind of data solutions. It's also that generally we're present in our online kind of channels and our store channels, but our customers are not only there, they're also in other places. If you take Tmall, I believe, I don't know if I remember this correctly, but during one of the sales days, like single days, they sold for the kind of total turnover, for the amount that entire Swedish retail sector does during the year, and they done that during the day. So we have to kind of be there where we need to be. We need to kind of collaborate with these marketplaces, and Tmall is one of them. There's ASOS, there's Zalando, there's many other ones that are there. Our kind of business constantly transforming, and you probably read in newspapers when we get maybe critique for not being fast enough or other types of aspects. And there we had for some years had a key development areas which we focus on. And there you just can, whatever disruptive technology is there, we're trying to get it and implement it. And it takes time when you have a corporation this size. I mean, it's everything from omni, digital kind of click and collect, in-store mode. It is from cloud. It is the AI and machine learning. So it's the list goes on. And it's actually quite exciting to see so many kind of initiatives starting sort of at the same time, and you try to kind of help them on the way to achieve this, our business vision that our leadership have. And it's not easy. And obviously we are living in a world where environment becomes more and more important. And for example, H&M Conscious collection are more focusing on this sustainability and how can we produce our garments from raw recycled materials, how we can sort of grow the materials like from algae. And so a lot of kind of inventiveness is there. So on all lines, we try to improve our business kind of constantly. So if you consider this sort of amount of change, so all those sort of ideas, all those innovations that are happening, what does it mean for data? So what should we do and how should we manage it? And actually, we come up with data strategy and vision that could be summarized in 3 words. Those 3 words are grow, share, and care. And behind that, there is a 150-page long presentation describing of what we should do, how we should do it, where we are, what projects will get us there, what project do we need to have to get us there. And the kind of amazing thing about those 3 words is that kind of our CEO understands, and he says, yes, we should do it. Let's do it, guys, and tell me how far you've gone every month or every week, or whatever our reporting cycle is. And to talk about more about this, it's, for example, grow. That means that we need to grow our data assets. So it could mean that we need to understand better our customers to provide them a better offering so they can love us more. It could mean that we need to kind of grow our product data, product information, to better describe our products online or in stores or on Tmall or whatever it is, or make more automated decision based on that, get more better kind of data insights. And that's kind of aspect describing how we should grow our data assets. And obviously, as you've seen in the previous slide, we're no longer a closed ecosystem. We have customers somewhere else. We import product data from other companies. So we need to share data not only internally but externally, and that's a very important factor to succeed. And one of the most important factors that we had very difficulty and kind of explaining without using this word is care. So we need to have proper governance in place. We need to understand our data assets, how valuable they are, what is their sort of state, are they of good quality, are they of bad quality, and so on. But how did we get to this point? I mean, we did not start from here. It was not that our CEO said, now, yes, this is what you should do and come to us. Actually, it's happened the other way around. And I will start by telling you kind of where and how did we start. So I tried to kind of, together with my colleagues, summarize what is our journey and where are sort of the major kind of actions or activities we took, and what are sort of the milestones that happened on the way. And as you can see, the journey, I don't know if that's reflected here, but it was wavy. So it's, it's ups and downs. It's never easy. It's very difficult. And I will come to some kind of maybe difficult situations that we faced. For example, in 2012, our group decided that we should go for one large ERP implementation, which was part of our key development areas, and which should consolidate our sales, logistics, finance. So basically, some business areas should be consolidated into the system, and they will get this fantastic capabilities of this ERP system. And that was great. And also, as a result of this better system, data quality have improved. Some of our processes were running automatically, and that was excellent. And however, the downside was, I would say, that it was limited involvement from our business to kind of steer how we should design our solutions, how exactly we should do that, even on a higher level, like what should we focus on. And we also noticed that, if you've seen before, there was a lot of changes happening in a company. So those changes were affecting data quality. For suddenly, the data quality started to go down, and suddenly, the entire process could stop. And people calling us saying, "So what happened? Why is data of bad quality? What did you do?" I said, "Nothing. There was maybe some implementation happened, or something else kind of impacted it." So the next step was to establish more operational organization. We called the master data management, and some of the process went to the operational mode, and we start to support in the business to maintain the data, So for people who didn't know how to do that, we provided a service to help them to do that. We start to look into the kind of root causes. So why are they there's data quality issues? Maybe we should do something. Maybe we should change something. We also were getting a lot of changes from the different programs and projects, but we were more accepting. Okay, so you want to do this? Okay, let's implement this. So we were more accepting the changes, and that was good in a way. But at the same time, it could be that we're creating the technical debt, or maybe other aspects of it. So. But we were a very kind of service-oriented organization. So at some point in time, we decided that we need to focus on kind of maybe some of those issues that are happening are not happening in the ERP system, but they're happening outside in other systems. Maybe somewhere data producers who are producing the data, maybe they need to work differently. Maybe they need to have different tools. Maybe we need to overlook the entire kind of, for example, product introduction process or customer onboarding process, and to see if we can improve it maybe in the kind of overall rather than focusing on one specific area. And that's when we started the architecture team or function, and that team was kind of sole kind of purpose is to safeguard enterprise data design and solutions. To make sure that we're doing kind of from the information model perspective right decisions. So we're selecting right technology to handle our data challenges. And we also, because there was so many change projects happening, we were trying to influence those projects, what we should do to achieve our vision, our strategy. But we are architects, so we talk with other architects in other departments, and I say, yeah, that's good, let's do that. But wait, my business saying that I need to make my business area to work. So there was still some silos in other departments that we had really difficulty time reaching. And one thing that I come to think of that it felt like there was one meeting where there was this lady, and I was saying to her that if we do this, I think we will become much more successful. We resolve a lot of issues. And she said, yes, I know, but for me as a data producer, this my area will work, even if it burns a little bit in other areas. But that's fine. I mean, I don't know how much it burns. We don't know actually how much it burns. Is it big fire, small fire? We know it burns, and so we kind of. I felt a bit like Greta. I don't know this Greta movement. You're trying to but it will help us all. Well, so sometimes you don't have this attitude from everyone. But so how do we change that? So we try to think that maybe we should have some kind of strategy how we should tackle this type of challenges. And one of them was we decided that we should have some principles for how we should work with master data management. We decided that we should make our data quality transparent and principles around that, and work with data quality so we know how much it's burning, where it's burning. And if we have a key kind of assets, we should have some kind of collaboration with the business and from the strategical level, so it means some kind of data governance in place. We were kind of thinking how we should do that following years. And for example, the year 2018, we decided we should kind of, the easiest kind of place to start is try to find out how much it's burning. So kind of try to understand what is our data quality. I mean, try to make it transparent to everyone. And we start establishing a data quality platform and obviously data quality organization. Initially it was a project, but then it slowly started to go towards the being more operational organization. And it's actually helps us quite a bit, because not only we were able to solve some of the data quality problems and get kind of a step ahead, but also people from maybe senior people from business development and other organizations start to see that we can add some value, and we seem to have a point. And data quality is maybe not at the best level, but it also was important to have a context behind sort of the data quality. You cannot just come to the business and say that one of your percent of your customers have wrong sort of I don't know, data somewhere. You have to have the context to that, because 1% of your customers has wrong data, and you probably will not be able to do proper customer profile, which will not enable you to do the personalization kind of initiative that you have there. So connecting that to the kind of business sort of needs, wants, and so on. So that was very important, and we're still kind of doing that. So it's, I mean, 2018. It's just last year. So. Right, but going back to this also business ownership, which was not really there. So how do we kind of establish that? So in 2018, so it's still the same year, we start talking more about with business development about that. And also there was an event happening in Stockholm. So our CEO was giving a speech to investors and some other people who, actually I was not there, my manager was not there, and we just heard about it, and we started going through that presentation, and we noticed. So our CEO says that, first of all, that he was reassuring the investors that we're doing the right things, we're placing the right bets, and we have, and one slide, there was, we have a lot of assets in our organization. One asset is our HR, sort of our production, kind of design department, and one thing they mentioned is that we have sort of large data assets, or we have data assets. That's kind of H&M sort of important key sort of assets. And then we start talking with all the people we know that on a relatively senior level, from the business development to the analytics sort of. There was also this person that helped us, the head of Inside Analytics, and our CEO was kind of preaching also some years back. The AI and machine learning will be kind of the future. So all those factors together kind of help to kind of establish this what we call Enterprise Information Management Steering Group. So in that steering group, we start discussing how do we tackle those challenges that we maybe do not have a proper data strategy, that maybe we have a lot of projects that are happening that are strategic projects, and we need them and we need to influence them so they maybe design our solutions that are future-proofed. It went well, and people kind of understood, and we had a project where we actually developed this data strategy that turned out to be Grow, Share, and Care, and it's difficult to understate, but it's very important to say it again, that the importance of communicating on the right level with the different stakeholders, because if you talk about data governance with all of your stakeholders, not all of them understand. And I mean, when we try to talk to them, said, yeah, that sounds good, but let's talk about real issues. And when you talk about care, suddenly people understand, and like, right, so communication is very important. Well, the next step that happened, this was 2018, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, is that we started the data strategy implementation. There was a kind of organization established called this strategy office, and obviously their focus was to make sure that our strategy is being implemented, so measure towards our strategy, and support all of the different kind of data initiatives. So it was broken down actually in 3 levels. So on the top strategic level, we were working with awareness. Awareness was within kind of organizations, because it could be that your senior leaders, like your CEOs, they understand why data is important, and could be that the people close to the system understand why data is important, but people in the middle need to also understand that. And at H&M, there's a lot of people. You've seen 170,000, maybe not all of them, but majority of them need to understand why data management is important, and why growing our data assets is important, why sharing them is important, obviously. And another part of sort of data strategy implementation was actually focusing on the strategic initiatives and making sure that we have a scalable, established data quality platform, that we are working with our establishing future-proof, stable MDM solution, which we are still in a process of establishing, and that we have all the tools, all the methodologies, all the processes that we need to support our business, and that includes our data organization and our master data function, our architecture function. So all of the function, how they should function together, was kind of a next step there. Actually, it was a funny thing about this presentation. I was thinking, how should I end it? And you know, some of my kind of leaders, or for example, we have a senior or lead enterprise architect. He told me that we can tell on the external events what we have done, what we are doing, but not what we're gonna do. So I was thinking maybe I should. What should I not tell? What should I tell? And actually, my manager Malin, she promised that she's gonna wave the hand if I'm telling too much. Or I didn't see the hand, so I guess for now it's okay. Right, but I would say the key takeaways would be that start small and simple. I mean, having the very big program. I mean, even though we have in the beginning very big ambitions, we want to do everything. We have to kind of break that in smaller parts and start somewhere. And it's important to create value for the business, because there's a lot of initiatives happening, and if we come to them and say, you know, you want to do RFID, but we want to do data management, so you have to do this and these things. So even for the project, we have to kind of argue and say, for your RFID implementation to be successful, so you get ROI and all that things, you should focus on doing this thing. So we're more kind of advisory type of function rather than steering people and saying what you should do. It's very important to work with your data sponsors, because at the end, if we come into the project and say we do not want to hear anything about data management, they can help you to maybe change the minds of those project leaders or whoever it is. Could be challenging, but it's possible. And timing is everything. I mean, if it maybe would not have been for the AI or this big trend and this big sort of possibilities there, it will be difficult to maybe do something. So we need to kind of always kind of look in what does our business wants, and when should we start with those maybe activities we think are relevant. Right, and see I'm running out of time, and actually I was showing this presentation to my Sambo, my partner, yesterday, and she said, why do you have only men on this picture? Don't you have like women working? I said, well, actually we have a lot of women working in our department, more than men. So it just was the summer collection, I think, from H&M. So what I would like to say is thank you so much. Obviously we are hiring. We're always looking for talented people who want to work with that and are passionate about data. And you can always reach out to me, Alex, although I'm on parental leave at the moment, but Malin, who is my manager, and she will, you know, happy to talk to you if you want. And yeah, great. Thank you so much, guys.